Welcome to my channel. It's me here with another video for you guys. And in this one, we're going to be looking at the book of 1 Timothy. This is part of our series where we do an overview of each book of the Bible. So if you want to see the other videos, just go ahead and look up Book Overview or click on the playlist called Book Overviews. Either way, let's dive into 1 Timothy. Okay, so before we dive into the summary, let's talk about who the author is and when it was written. So 1 Timothy was written by the Apostle Paul. It was written around AD 64 or 65. And the reason that it was written is because there were some false teachers that were coming into the church in Ephesus. And they were teaching some really bad doctrine. And so Paul writes this letter to Timothy, who is the pastor over the church in Ephesus, giving him instruction on how to handle those false teachers, how to respond to them, and how to combat their influence within the church. All right, now, what are the main themes? Well, first of all, we have sound doctrine. That's one of the big things that Paul talks about in this book. He talks about how important it is to guard the truth, to guard sound doctrine, and to make sure that false teachers are uncoming in and corrupting the body of Christ. Secondly, we have the role of the pastor. Paul gives Timothy instructions on how to behave as a pastor, what his role is in the church, what his responsibilities are, and also how to handle difficult situations and people within the church. The third theme in this book is practical application. So Paul doesn't just give Timothy instructions and teaching on what to do, but he also gives him practical ways to apply it, practical ways to handle these false teachers and also handle the different situations that are happening within the church. So these are the three main themes of 1 Timothy. All right, let's look at some of the key verses. Let's start with chapter 1, verse 15. This is one of my favorite verses in the entire New Testament. It says, "This is a trustworthy saying. If we have died with him, we will also live with him. If we endure, we will also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us." So this verse is talking about the resurrection. It's talking about the judgment. And it's talking about the reality that if we put our trust in Jesus, if we abide in him and we endure, then we will reign with him one day. But if we deny him, if we turn away from him, then he will deny us on the day of judgment. So that's a really powerful verse. Another great verse is chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "Therefore I want the men in every place to pray, lifting holy hands without anger or quarreling." So Paul is giving instructions here on how men should pray. And he says to do it with holy hands, meaning to pray with purity, to pray with hands that are clean, but also to pray without anger and without quarreling. So this verse gives us an example of what our prayers shouldn't be like. Our prayers shouldn't be full of anger. They shouldn't be full of strife and contention. Rather, our prayers should be pure and clean, and they should be void of any anger or quarreling. So that's 1 Timothy in 100 seconds. If you want more, read the whole book. It's only 5 chapters long. It's a short book, but it's incredibly rich. And it has so many good teachings for us today. So I encourage you to read through 1 Timothy and to meditate on these teachings, to memorize these verses and to apply them to your life. God bless you.